Hello everyone, it's Gigabeef here, and today we are back on customs as per the community poll, and today we're completing setup. Eliminate 15 PMC operatives whilst wearing the specified gear, which is basically an MP series shotgun, a U-Shanker, and a scav vest, which we will have a look at the loadout that we're going to be wearing for this particular raid. This and this we obviously need to wear. It doesn't actually matter that the scav vest is kind of small because we have this shotgun and there are no magazines for it. So you just hold something in your pocket or whatever, which really frees up this for everything else. I've got the usual car kit and the cat combo because this is not super recent. This one was around March time. And so that's why I'm level 41 in this particular video. And yeah, I'm still using, something like a scuffed gazelle just because I'm going with this particularly cheap kit. Like we don't have anything else too crazy. And my preferred round is always flechette. I think it's really, really good because you don't have to go for legs or head. You could just go center of mass and you can absolutely murder people with it. Just before we continue, as Tarkov players, we understand the importance of positioning. And today's video is brought to you by Tacticool, a fun 5v5 top-down shooter with super quick matches, which is perfect for when you don't have time for a full Tarkov raid. The matches that I played were only about 4 minutes long each, and it has an interesting playstyle with a fixed camera and automatic shooting. This might seem strange at first, but the game's focus is actually around positioning and tactics on the map to win. It reminds me a little bit of like a frantic, real-time multiplayer version of XCOM. You can use my link or QR code to download the game and the promo code TACTIDE for a special reward. You'll find the classic game modes of capture the bag, i.e. holding it for as long as possible, as well as team deathmatch and some of the newer modes like battle royale and zombie survival. Its mobile focus is clear in some of the menu design, but it plays pretty well on PC actually, and there is a wide range of operators to choose from and weapons to customize your loadout with, which gives you a few different ways to play. Whichever you choose when getting started, it's important to keep situational awareness all around you to make sure that you don't get jumped by a player that you just simply don't see. So use the link below or scan the QR code on the screen to get started, and for new players, if you use the promo code TACTIDE as well, there's a unique operator Jason, which includes an RPG and 50,000 in-game silver as well. So if you have a few spare minutes for a bit of harmless fun, it's certainly worth a try. It's a very cheap kit that we're using to try to get this quest done, and I think it's probably one of the best ways to get setup completed, to try and kill PMCs that way. So we'll see where we spawn in, and this raid was kind of interesting. Now, what I would say about customs when I'm playing a little bit later on into the wipe is that I don't always necessarily have a very specific thing to do on customs. So let's look at where we started. So here we are. This is Big Red over here, and we've got our beautiful, lovely map up here. So Big Red, from the orientation that we're in, we're looking at this wall here from this direction, and we're here, and this is basically where we spawned, which is kind of an unusual spawn. Usually you spawn either at Trailer Park or up at Crossroads. But normally what I do, my default strategy for playing customs, because sometimes later on, you don't necessarily have something specific. Like this one is just kill PMCs anywhere on the map, which can be a bit tricky. So what I normally do is I move some way across over to dorms. And in dorms, I usually go to 2-story. Because sometimes you meet people, but 2-story tends to be a little bit less hardcore and sweaty than 3-story dorms. 3-story is full of people with meta gear normally. But inside 2-story, you've got, and it's a little bit small here, but you've got the second floor and the first floor. If you look at the map, this is just one of the maps from the wiki. But the beauty for me about 2-story dorms is that you actually have 3 rooms inside here which have safes in. So you could just go there on a loot run. It's basically you need the 110 key, which is this room here, which is the one on the ground floor, but it's kind of at the bottom end. You basically have to go in because this end is blocked off, so you have to go in here, and then you've got the other 2, which is 104 and 105, which is if you're going through the front, one's on one side of the corridor and one's on the other side of the corridor. And so I usually quite like hitting 2-story because you get 3 safes just all in one building. You don't always have tons of people in here, and I just think it's a nice way to just go in and get started in your raid, and to just hear stuff, because you're kind of near the middle of the map, you're where the action is. You can go to 3-story if you hear particular guns that you think you might be good against. You can just leave. You can hear stuff at gas station. I think it's a really nice area to just sort of start your raid off and get situational awareness of what's going on, and then decide what to do next if you don't have anything specific to do. So in this particular raid, I did decide to cross over the bridge. Now, when you've got the 153 or any shotgun-like weapon like this, you really do need to be quite careful. Customs isn't a very long-range map, I would say, but sightlines like this are kind of dangerous, over from this direction. If somebody spawned down the bottom and they're looking back across with some kind of assault rifle or whatever, you just don't really stand a chance with flechette at that kind of range. So you need to duck from cover to cover to be able to get over to wherever you need to go, which is why I tried to path through here. I mean, it's a little risky, but yeah, using the bushes and that kind of thing, and using this divot to get across, especially the sort of early raids, the the high chance is that whoever spawned over on this side, if they did, probably just like ran across to the back and went over to dorms themselves. They could have come back the other way, I guess, but it's unusual to find somebody over on that road firing back at you, just simply because it's not really a great place to be for them themselves. So normally I don't mind like running in this direction to go over towards the dorms area, as long as we keep ourselves covered within the forests and all of that kind of stuff. We'll see. We'll see. Because that's the thing, like... Oh, I don't. Now, one thing at this stage you do have to be a bit careful of. Let me just bring the map back up. So we've like run all the way over to the center of this area here. So we're like about there now. On the previous one that we did, actually, we started up at Old Gas. And so people who have started kind of in this area, they can come through and come up to dorms here. And you can end up meeting like in this location here, which is something that I am worried about slightly. And that's why I'm looking over across at like Skeleton and stuff like that, because people will come through from there early on, because it's one of those classic sightlines. It's like one thing that you need to do when you're thinking about the early game within any particular raid is trying to understand where people might be coming from, where they're going to be going to, and then drawing lines between those and thinking, okay, am I going to intercept with them? Which is important for a PvP quest, right? Like if I end up in the right situation at the right time, I might be able to push someone with a shotgun and get a kill, because we do have to kill PMCs at the end of the day, is what this quest is all about. Not the packet loss. So again, we're keeping ourselves nice and low, and we're going to head straight into 2-story dorms here through the door. And I opened that door previously just because it gives us an extra place to run to, just in case we end up in some kind of trouble. So here's the safe here. Can't hear anyone. I have a quick listen around, because you can hear people in 3-story from here. And we'll just have a look through what we've got. An egg. I've got my keys in the docs case here. I've actually changed up to a sick case now, but at this point I just had docs. Any tips? Normally I don't have that many problems with setup, but this wipe it's felt quite hard for some reason. So I thought I heard somebody basically, so I go out to investigate. I really thought I heard somebody. Even from inside you can actually hear people. I think that man was trying to do bullshit. There was a weird audio glitch, like a little tick. It sounded almost like somebody using a key. As I said, this was a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago, so I wasn't as used to that audio glitch now. It's like very obvious. He's trying to do bullshit because he's got an SV98. You hear this like tick of like a single step or something along those lines, and okay. So that sounds very much like we're getting shot at. So now with the shotty, we need to push in real close. It sounds like an SVD, something along those lines. And I think we catch a small glimpse of him just there in a bush. Again, using our foliage. And engaging the guy at a range that is sensible for us and not sensible for them. Oh gosh. Now, did you see the tracer? That sniper scav? There was a green tracer that just flew past on one frame or something. Like, go back and rewind if you missed it. There's only a couple of bullets in the game that are actually green tracers. There's not that many. You have GT for 9mm, which is a tracer of some kind. Probably the most unlikely version. There's M62, which it could be, but M62, it probably will pen through a damaged class 5, and it didn't pen my armor. The other options are T46M, which is a 54R round, as well as BT. Now, BT would definitely have penetrated my armor, so it almost certainly was not that. And I think that most likely is a T46M coming from Sniper Scav or from somebody else. Any headshots and you're just going to die. What's going on? Here a ping over in gas station. ESP confirmed. Clips of Punisher 4. Punisher 4, something like an RFB will do nicely. Given that we still need to go and get PMCs, we decide to sort of head over in that general direction to M80, which makes it quite hard, but there's another shot over on the right. Now, gas station I'm not hugely comfortable with going into with the shotgun because it's a little tricky in some ways. Back with the old new tube. Exactly. So you have to be very careful about your actual sightlines and like giving yourself away with the shotgun. There's just like, there's a lot of sightlines again where you just can't really be successful with the shotgun. So you just have to make sure that you're in the right position that's going to be advantageous to you. There's a lot of spamming, you know, like you have 9, you have like 8 in the mag and 1 in the gun. So there can be a lot of spamming. So 60 only gives you, you know, seven sets of spamming out the shotty in an absurd way. Right now, we're just trying to figure out where people are. So they are probably down in gas itself, but you don't just want to run in because somebody could be overlooking gas up from the rocks at the top. We're just basically sat in here just like listening to try and figure out where people are right now. Like situational awareness is even more important with a shotgun because, as I said, you don't want to get caught out at long range because you just won't be able to fight back. We'll wear the sword-ins. I don't really like sword-ins, but we'll wear them. Do I go for sniper scav? Maybe. No looting. It's because that guy was... I was getting shot from somebody. So I feel like those shots are a bit further away. They're kind of down at like scav checkpoints. Not really relevant for what we want to do. We don't want to get drawn too far away from where we were. In fact, it's probably even over the wall. It's like not really engageable for us unless we rotate completely. So we'll go and see. Maybe wrong on that. Yeah, we hear no more shots in gas stations. So we do decide to go back and try and loot the guy that we killed over there. Because we didn't actually loot him, given that we got shot at by that green tracer. On with footsteps to Tarkov. I'll tell the direction. Are you using binaural? You basically weren't able to tell until they changed the binaural settings. Now binaural on actually does work, and you can tell directionality really easily. Or at least I can. I'm finding it so much easier. Without binaural, I just couldn't tell. Basically, unless we get any more information, audio information, we're going to just keep going the way we're going. But this is actually the way that we want to be. We hear like a big fight. It's kind of further across from where the body was. No, it can't be. More unfortunate bullet crack bug stuff. That's still in the game, by the way. It's very annoying. If the bullet is coming towards you, even though there's cover in the way, you still hear the bullet crack. Don't worry, I'm pandering to the pandering to our brethren across the pond. So this is basically where we killed our guy, but something weird's happened here because our dude we killed here. Wait, what the hell? But there's now 2 more bodies up here. Very intriguing and slightly concerning. I'm very confused. There's somebody clearly around. I feel like somebody did loot all of our people. Now we can continue to hear this fight happening. It sounds like Skeleton or maybe even the fortress area. It's difficult to know. So what we're going to do is hang out in bus station for a little bit and listen. Like, listening is so important when you're playing solo, genuinely. Like, running around like a headless chicken is fine if you're a complete cracked shot, but you need to hear where people are, otherwise you're going to run into them and then die a lot, if you're playing solo especially. Try it out. Yeah, try binaural on. It really makes a difference. Thank you, Deval. Thank you so much for the 2 months, dude. Been a wheel, man. It's been a while. Binaural on finally. Been getting scared of my backpack hitting trees. A non-experience with regular sound. I want to toilet with echo, even though my character's in the woods. I don't really want to go over there. This area is not really good for me. Like over that side and stuff. It's not really good for. I knew there was somebody here, and there was our guy. Like, we didn't hear him at all because he was crouch walking. Was that a shot or what? What happened there? So that random window break is like very concerning. Now I'm scared. Somebody in chat was suggesting that it was the barrel of our shotgun, which I think is very unlikely. I still haven't confirmed that that's not true, but I just don't think that that's how it works. No. No. Either which way, I'm still very nervous because somebody's shot that glass out from the top. Like, maybe it was collateral from somewhere else, but I'm thinking longer sight lines up to skeleton. On the other side, maybe somebody stood on the wall over on the right. But I think from this angle, we're probably okay. I don't think somebody could shoot that glass out from up above that hill. Like, somebody could just be across the ridge line over towards gas station over there by the trains. But I just don't think it's likely. That's why I'm looking over there. So we just take the guy's stuff and then carry on. pack of runners. The CSA rig is always a good one to take, actually, because as you can see, it's like 2x3, but inside you get quite a lot of slots. It's actually, I think it's probably the cheapest, most effective, like efficient rig that you can get, because it only takes up this amount of space, you see. It's 6, but then it actually gives you a 10. So for 6 slots, you get 10 slots. It's actually an amazing rig to take from scavs or whatever if you want to pack as much stuff as you can into your bag without skimping on anything. And you can always just sell the CSA itself back to Bagman. Vases aren't even worth that much, actually. Another advantage about shotgun is that you can put something in the rig slot. Like, normally you need to keep your slots spare so that your one magazine can come out and go in the spare slot. Well, not with the shotty, because your ammo is all in the stack. So you can utilize the entirety of a rig rather than having to keep the size of a slot spare. Random scav trying to do some looting, and we get him.
Random scav.
We didn't even hear him, to be fair, which is kind of weird. Did you say hello? Was there a laser on the guy's shotty? I'm not sure. So now after 3 kills on PMCs, it's probably time to get out. Yeah, sounds. I don't know. I've never seen that. I've literally never seen that. That'll be a first time, if so, because your gun folds down normally, right? You don't usually have that as a problem. I don't like the way guns sound with the sword ends on. Like, everything sounds. This is the way that I usually go when I'm trying to do something safe. Like, we'll bring it up just because we're wandering, but basically we were over here. So like dorms over there, we come through the hole in the wall, and this is usually the way that I go. I go all the way around the outside of the edge, all the way along here and into ZB 1011, which like this way I actually think is quite good for shotty. There's also some stashes along here, so we hit the first stash in here, which is the classic one that people almost always have looted. You can see somebody's actually taken 2. Okay, somebody took this things out of there. We'll take the like something vertical, like I don't know, like maybe a gas analyzer or a magazine or what, something like that. Probably something better than a mag. Yeah, 03, that's fine. But it looks like someone's taken it, because loot spawns kind of consecutively within a box. So if there's something missing from the front, either somebody just like moved something, it's more likely that they took it. How much are they? They're like 45k or something? I feel pretty confident about using my shotgun in this particular environment. Like, yeah, somebody could be up on the hill, but we can always use the foliage to like push through. It's not too bad. Like especially once we get up behind this rock and stuff, then we're kind of into real shotgun territory. That's a good point. That's a good point. I missed that point completely. The next stash, this one's a bit less obvious. Let's see. What's this guy running anyway? Is he running anything of any... We got lots of junk. Any value? So we're ready to swap stuff out. Mags. Okay. How much has this got in it? Nearly full. Get rid of that. Get rid of these. Very useful to set up a hotkey for discard, by the way. I resisted for a long time, but if you're going to delete something in your stash, it gives you a warning, like message box that pops up, whereas in Raid, it just throws something on the floor. So you're not really risking deleting anything, actually. I have it on my mouse. I have it one of my side mouse buttons. It just like speeds up like looting so much. Oh, we can potter across to this one, I suppose. We can just go and delete the last couple. Mate had a weekly, needed 2 vases, and we got the second one without us to go. We can head over to the next one now. Next stash. The game plan. What's 52? What's 52? This one's just on the corner of the blue fencing. Sometimes I forget what I've said, and then people reply, and then I'm like... Oh, 52k. Okay, that makes sense. Go away. Go away. Go away. Lovely bugs. It's bugged. Right, this one I find notoriously annoying. I tried to find the tall tree without much leaves on it. That one over here. And then it's kind of like near that. Just to the left of it. So this is the tall tree here with... I keep turning around, but it's over there. It's the tall tree with no leaves. And it's kind of just to the left of that once you've come from the previous stash. Bank Robber normally is another one that's actually alright. Because that one is not as good as the CSA. But it's like 8 slots for 6. So if you're in raid, it's better than nothing if you've got that space. If you've got space to take it, then it gives you an extra 2 slots. You multiply your carry capacity by 2 slots just by getting that. I can't get rid of it. Actually, you know, I want to... And there's one stash actually over in the corner. Around the corner there. I put this up, so there's actually... We went to one stash here, and one stash here, and then there's actually a stash down there, but I didn't bother. We just like went straight across because I kind of wanted to leave. And over here, I always feel really exposed. You can be seen from lots of places, and with the shotgun, I just felt kind of nervous. I didn't go and loot it. So yeah, fiber soon, friends. 23rd is the new install date. The fiber line is actually in the ground. So I just need the ISP to organize the router and bring it over. Now, Sniper Scav can be up here, so just be a little careful that you don't get shot at by Sniper Scav if he's in there. We might have a fiber connection. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? There's another 2 stashes here. Again, I don't think I go for these just because we're so close to the exit. One is on this side of the wall, behind a bush, and one's round the corner, just the other side of the wall. So one's like that, down there, and one's just on the left, down there. I'm not going to do that stash just because I'm pretty full, and I just kind of want to go. There you go. And it's quite risky. And then there's one more stash right in the corner here. But again, I don't do that one. That one is actually pretty easy to get because it's all in the bushes, so you're very, very hidden. And it's right next to the extract. So if someone's running across, you can just stay there and not make any sound, and they probably won't hear you, and they'll just leave. I normally like running up on there just because it's kind of unexpected. I never see anybody exit camp this, but I'm still just kind of nervous about it sometimes. And there you have it. So we've got 3 kills. One of them got looted by somebody else, so someone took the dog tag, meaning that we didn't get to figure out exactly who they were and what level they were or anything. But we've got 3 kills towards setup, which I thought was pretty good. Definitely can't complain about that. And yeah, it was just a successful raid. I do think that starting off with Dorm's 2 story is a generally good idea. It's what I like to do because you're not going to guarantee getting to PvP, but you're definitely going to get some loot first. You could get some quest items that are useful for later on, and you cross a load of certain paths of people who are running across without going through the full fire and hellstorm of going into Dorms 3. And it sets you up nicely for maybe going out to gas station next and that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed. I think this one might be the last one of these for a little bit. Given the ones that we've done already, I'm just kind of like thinking about the format. Like, it's been good making these videos so far, but I'm thinking about what to do next, whether to make more of this type of thing or whether to switch it up a bit. I do have some other ideas of things that I might do along this thought process, and it's been interesting making the raid review videos that I've done already. But we'll see. I'm having a think about it, and I will keep you posted. So hope you enjoyed, and until next time, have fun in your raids.